Hey friends, welcome into the TexAgs Rewind presented by the four-time Retailer of the Year. We're talking about specs. Love specs. All right, I got the fan show guys with me. Mr. Ricketts, hello.
Hello.
Mr. Browdy, hey.
Hey, how are you?
And Ambry Heath at the Angry Elephant News and Social Center. Hello, Ambry.
Hello.
Great to see you.
Good
You like
to
to play
see you too.
pickleball?
No, not anymore.
Anyway, what was your favorite part of the show?
I actually really I enjoyed Peter Burns. I think Peter Burns he's a sharp fellow.
Made the list.
Oh, good.
Good call. Mr. Ricketts.
Peter Burns, great. I enjoyed Stephen McGee in OB when you had him on.
Okay, Stephen McGee. Made the list. Good job. Heath.
I'm going to also have to say Peter Burns.
You got to say somebody new.
Peter Burns.
You got to say somebody new.
Peter Burns.
AT made the list.
Oh, yeah.
And Cameron Wolfe from the NFL Network made the
Oh,
list.
I liked him too.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Hey, you know what's the problem for AT is that he would always get it, and so now we're like, we
we
don't
got to
get
pick
it.
somebody else.
We pick somebody else now, and now he gets left out every time.
You know who didn't make it?
Fan show.
Sorry, guys. Why are you laughing?
It's my favorite part of the show.
This is really kind of awkward the way we're going to go.
This is awkward.
This is like, just watch it. Do me a favor.
Come on, Luke, be better.
Thanks, guys. I want you guys to buy, sell, lease their stock for the next couple of years. And one of those is Texas A&M at 28. Okay?
Okay.
The other one is Oklahoma at 27. And the other one I'm going to give you is Missouri at 18. For the next 2 years, whose stock, and when I say stock, are you buying, who's going to finish higher when it's all said and done this year and next year?
I'll buy A&M all day. I'll lease Oklahoma and I'll sell Missouri.
I might flip that, personally.
All the way around.
No. I'm buying A&M for the next couple of years. I am selling Oklahoma because I think their schedule, and I think Venables might be on his way out.
Yeah.
I think Drink has proven to be a better coach. They have a manageable schedule with a new year. I don't know what their schedule looks like next year, but I am going to sell Oklahoma and lease Missouri. OB?
You know, I want to be different, and yet I can't. And I don't want this to come off as me being a provincial or a big homer, but I'm buying A&M there.
Good.
Yeah.
I'm selling Missouri,
Yeah.
and I'm leasing Oklahoma because it's Oklahoma. But that said, of the three coaches, Elko, Drinkwitz, and Venables, I think Venables is the weakest.
Absolutely.
And they're going all in. Everything's going to change because they got this quarterback from Washington State. Okay, maybe he's going to be good, but what you do against Washington State doesn't necessarily transfer
I agree.
to what you do now.
Talk about Devon Achane for a second. And I know I say it wrong. It's just a muscle memory. Achane, I know Mike McDaniel recently said that he expects a huge year. You're at Dolphins camp all the time. What can you tell me about Devon and his growth with that organization?
Yeah, I think that he's going to have an incredible year. Like, fantasy football fans, I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up top 5 running back, because of just all that he can do within this scheme. You guys know at A&M how fast he was, but it's been interesting to just see his evolution as a complete running back. I think the question coming out of college was always his size. Can he handle the workload? And so far, last year, he played 17 games. All 17 games, stayed healthy, had over 1,500 yards, and really showed that he could be that workhorse back. And this year, that's the expectation. They had a Raheem Mostert last year who was sort of sharing the reps with them. He's gone. And now it's Achane's backfield. And I've watched him in OTAs and mini camps, and he looks like a guy that's ready to take over this offense. I know we talk a lot about Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle, but to me, he could certainly be one of those guys where defensive coordinators focus on him as the number one guy to stop with this Dolphins offense rather than those other two guys I mentioned.
Talk to me about the culture in that locker room. I heard Tua talk about it. I know what kind of guy Devon is. I know what Tua is. So, there's a different vibe this year, though. What is different?
Look, the reality is there was a perception and even some reality that this team was soft in certain elements of last season. They performed poorly against playoff teams, poorly in December and January when it counted, and they were seen as a team that they put up video game numbers when the offense is on, when it's hot outside in Miami, but when it gets cold and you're playing in the playoff months in New York and KC, you could break them. And I think that is something they are trying to change. I talked to A-Chan earlier this offseason, and he said, we've heard that. We've heard the soft. We've heard all the talks. And we just want people to keep that same energy and keep those same words in the mouth when we're coming about next year. So they're taking it personally. They're trying to have this little underdog mentality, whether it's real or not, to try to say, hey, people don't believe we have it to make it. And, the start of it is changing some people on the roster. They let some people go. They're in the midst of trading Jalen Ramsey. And the idea is they're going to have new leaders, younger leaders come in and try to reshape the identity. Right now, it's all words. We'll see what it looks like in September, but they know they need to change to have the success they need in the playoffs.
I read this morning that there's positive momentum for men's college basketball to adopt a 4-quarter strategy as opposed to the 2 halves in the near future. Your thoughts?
Yeah, this is just one. I don't understand the burning passion in people's stomachs for this to change. First of all, I am in favor of making, I'm against college football trying to just turn itself into a mini NFL. But in basketball, I am in favor of trying to make the college game a little bit more like the NBA, because I do think that maybe incentivizes guys to stay in college basketball longer if they feel like they're getting developed for the next level. I don't understand this obsession with people in the media about going to 4 quarters. I kind of like the halves. I think it makes the sport a little bit different. I know for game flow purposes, it maybe would make things feel smoother, feel quicker. I don't know. I mean, listen, I've watched college basketball for 30 years. At this point, I've never once thought halves as opposed to quarters is one of the 50 biggest issues that face the sport. So I know it's been a big talking point. It doesn't really interest me that much. If they do it, I'm not going to be, an 8-tweet thread talking about why it's wrong, but I don't think it's one of the pressing issues that the sport needs to, really reevaluate. So, I always say this, Nuno, I hate coming on your show and not having strong opinions on everything, but this just isn't one that fires me up that much. It really isn't.
It's probably hard to ask you this while you're in Omaha, but in a month, we'll be in Atlanta. You ready for that circuit to come?
Yeah, and honestly, I'm more excited about it this year than a lot of years, because it felt like we are collectively, even as college football fans, are more in the dark about individual teams than we ever have before. You're a little bit different because you guys are boots on the ground there in College Station, but SEC and college football fans, for the most part, they didn't get a chance to go to practice. There's not a lot of coverage on it because the coaches don't want to put out a bunch of information. A lot of these teams didn't do spring games. So this will truly be the first time that we can ask coaches about their teams, because normally we found out a lot about their teams in spring ball. There was a lot of coverage. We saw the depth charts, all of this stuff. None of that exists anymore. It's all state secrets because they're deathly afraid of this transfer portal. So I'm looking forward to it. And again, I'd be lying if I told you if I knew who was going to win the SEC. Normally I have a good feel for it. I think it's as wide open as it's ever been in probably, at least 30, 40 years.
I think part of the reason for that is you got a lot of questions in the entire conference with the quarterback, right? And also just like every year that we have the portal and guys going in and out, and then Georgia and Texas losing all these guys to the draft, you don't always replenish what you lost. Programs like Georgia usually did in Alabama, but it's a different world now.
Well, and that's what it is the fact that, come full circle in our conversation, how we started. It used to be the fact that Georgia, when they replenish or Texas replenish the draft, they would have, the third string guy who was great. He pops up and he plays. Now we don't know. That guy might have transferred out. And again, go back and look at Ole Miss. Ole Miss crushed it in the transfer portal last year. And guess what? It didn't enter. It didn't make a difference because it wasn't a college football playoff squad.
Ricketts, tell the people what to do.
Hit like and subscribe.
And come back tomorrow.
And come back tomorrow.
All right.
Nailed it.
I don't want to do this anymore. We'll see you next time.